Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Lazaro Marisic, and today I'm presenting on Chapter 10, Create, from Lisa Murphy's On Play, the Foundation of Children's Learning book. This chapter to me, the chapter emphasizes the importance of fostering creativity in children and how it supports their overall development. I mean, personally, creativity isn't limited to art projects. It's about giving children the freedom to explore, to problem solve, and express themselves in fun and meaningful ways. Some key points that I took, there were six of them, but these are the first three here. The first key point that I took from this was that creativity is a developmental tool. What I mean by that is that I feel like creativity helps support every area of development, whether it be from cognitive to social, emotional, and physical. Um, for example, I mean, for example, in the book, when children experiment with building blocks, but in this case, in the book, it was with Legos, they're developing spatial awareness and problem solving skills while also learning about patience and collaboration with peers. The second key point I took from this was process over product. Lisa Murphy really stresses focusing on the process of creating rather than the end product. What I feel like she means by that is it's, instead of expecting kids to make identical crafts, like let's say a paper flower, we should encourage them to explore materials freely and allowing them to enjoy the act of creating. The third key point here is the stages of scribbling. This one really had me very excited. I did not know there was such a thing as stages of scribbling. So the 20 stages of scribbling that Lisa Murphy introduces explain that children's scribbles are foundational to create excuse me, to creativity and to self-expression. The stages show how children's art changes from simple marks to more purposeful creations. And recognizing these stages help us as the adults, as the teachers, understand that scribbles are valuable, not just random. The next three key points I took from this chapter were open ended play. Lisa Murphy really highlights the importance of open ended play, where children are free to use materials however they like. I mean, in this instance, for example, let's say providing loose parts like buttons, fabric, and sticks that allow children to design their own games, build structures, and create art without specific instructions. The next key point I took from this was our role as adults. Our role as educators and caregivers is to facilitate creativity without interfering. And instead of correcting or guiding the children, we should ask open ended questions. I mean, personally, that is something I'm very much working on. For example, we should be asking questions like, what do you want to create? Or what do you notice about this material? This helps children, it will help encourages children to think independently. Their environment plays a huge role in fostering creativity, and we are part of that environment. The spaces should be accessible, organized, and filled with materials that invite exploration. Also, as educators, we should step back and act as facilitators rather than directors, letting the children take ownership of their creativity. And lastly, the last key point that I took from this were creativity killers. Lisa Murphy warns against creativity killers. Things like pre-cut crafts, too many rules or adult interference. An example for this can be, instead of offering a blank piece of paper to the children and a variety of materials, let the children explore and create their own way. Two aha moments that I took from this chapter were the basic scribbles, 20 basic or 20 stages of scribbling, and adult interference. The aha moment for me was learning about the 20 stages of scribbling. It helped me see how even the simplest marks on paper are part of a child's creative journey. Adult interference, oh, that's a big one for me. Another revelation was that in this moment, there was another revelation that was realizing how much creativity is stifled. Adult interference stifles. And for example, I mean, when we focus on a perfect final product, we are discouraging the children from experimenting or making mistakes, which are truly critical for learning and growing. Some key takeaways that influenced my philosophy. I mean, well, as you can see, there are three. This chapter influenced how I approach creativity with children. For example, the first one is creating an environment that encourages exploration. I look forward to setting up a table with natural items like leaves and rocks for the kids to observe and use in their projects. The second takeaway was to facilitate and not control. Like I said, I'm working on quite a lot of things, and this is another one, is stepping back and letting children take the lead in their creative activities while also providing encouragement and asking thoughtful questions. Lastly, appreciate the process. I love celebrating my students, my children's scribbles or half finished projects as milestones in their creative development. Here are two questions. I hope you're all excited to answer them as I am to ask you. The first question is, what strategies would you use to avoid creative killing? And the second question would be, how can we, as the teachers, balance open-ended creative play with the structure, expectations of educational standards? Lastly, I wanted to leave you all with a quote from Lisa Murphy. If you don't get developmentally appropriate risk-taking experiences when you're little, you're going to grow up looking for it. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope this inspires you all to embrace creativity in your teaching and or caregiving. Remember that creativity is about the process, exploration, and joy, not just the final product. And don't forget, those scribbles are the beginning of something amazing. Thank you all so much, and I look forward to your presentations as well.